Before I start, there's a few people out here that I want to thank. If you worked on my campaign, donated to my campaign, helped me in any way, shape, or form, can you please stand up? Because I want to show you what the Tea Party members can actually do. Stephen?
All right, if you insist.
I see a few more sitting down. If you shouted it out. These are Tea Party members that stepped up to the plate, and you have to remember, in 2012, you need to do the same for your local candidates because we need more people up there. We did gain some seats. I am 1 out of 10. We have 10 Republicans, conservatives up there, which I think is fabulous. But the reason I'm here is a quick synopsis of what happened this morning. We had orientation today for the freshmen. It's great being 29 and a freshman, but whatever. You know, there was some things that I learned, but I also want to state that we are going to need you folks up there in the General Assembly meetings. We're going to need you sitting up in the gallery. We're going to need you going to committee hearings. We're going to need you going to meetings, and we're going to need you to be making some noise because there's only so much that I can do. And I promised the people of North Kingstown and Exeter and the Tea Party folks that I'll be working for you, but I can't do it alone. So we're going to need you up there, and if you've got any questions, I'm going to have an open door policy if you're in my district or not. Because not only do I work for District 31, I work for the state of Rhode Island, I work for the Tea Party members, and I work for all of you. So on that note, does anybody have any questions about the orientation today, or Speaker Fox? Or do tell? Actually, Speaker Fox has been great with the freshmen, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. And Speaker Fox and I have an agreement that we will not talk politics off the House floor so we don't kill each other. We will. we're gonna leave the argument for the House floor, and we'll be very civil to each other off the House floor. I did learn a lot today. I learned about the Senate and the General Assembly getting together and how the bills are passed. And I didn't know that if there is a bill in the General Assembly that goes to the Senate, if there's even one sentence that's not correct, then the whole bill has to get written over and done again and back on the House floor. Has to be word for word, and I actually learned that today. And I promised the voters of North Kingstown and Exeter and the state that I would not take the health care and have the taxpayers pay for it, and I will let you all know that I did waive that today. The state will not be paying for my family's health care. That's for darn sure. And it's in writing, so if anybody wants to actually check it out.
Can you adopt me?
That's more paperwork. You know how much paperwork it is for an adopted child? But I'm sure it's well worth it. But no, I didn't take the state health care. Does anybody have any more questions? Because that's pretty much, yes?
How have you been received by Leader Watson?
Great. Everybody has been received with the utmost respect. Leader Watson has returned every single call that I've made to him, and I have made several because I had a lot of questions. Representative Trillo, same thing, questions. Representative Newberry, Representative Earhart. Being a freshman up there, you don't know what to expect, so it's great to hear what the veterans actually have to say. And you might not agree with them, but you listen to them, and they're pretty much spot on.
And they listen to you too, though.
They have. They've been very, very helpful. So, like I said, I'm in Office 106, Open Door Policy.
Oh, Doreen, I was thinking, if you didn't take the health care, that could go viral. That could go across the country as a news item.
I'm hoping it does.
But I don't know who has the connections to make that happen. You probably do.
Well, I don't know, but I know we have Anchor Rising here, and Justin's sitting right in the front, and I'm sure that's on the record that I did not take the study health care.
It's such an amazing choice, and
Well,
a stunning choice, and a choice of integrity.
Thank
that
you.
For that, it could just go across the
Well, I ran the campaign, and I told the people that I knocked on their doors that if you have a spouse that is working and you are on their health care, you need to stay there. If you can afford it now, you can afford it later. And I am on my husband's health care, and so is my children. And we're going to stay there, and we're going to pay the weekly or monthly fee, whatever it is, out of the paycheck. And the state's just not going to pay for my family's health. It's just how it should be.
But even instead of saying the state, always say
The taxpayers should not, right, the taxpayers are not paying for my health insurance or my family's. Someone else had a question.
process, you have the opportunity to know what bills have been introduced and where they go, and whether or not they're going to actually get to a committee hearing.
Yes, and it was a quick 20 minutes. We had
Covered it.
we had 20 minutes on it because there was a lot to cram in. They did tell us the process. It's all written down in my binders. They also talked about the committee hearings, about how the legislation is written up, how we have a team of attorneys actually that would be writing up the bills, how we can actually go and read them before they're on the House floor. We can pull it up. We have a computer on our desk where we can actually pull all the bills up and check them out. And if we want copies of the bills, they're 100% accessible. We can have as many copies as we want. I did learn something today that all the bills that are passed in the General Assembly, they have to be submitted by February 10th. And February 10th, sometimes they're extended. So all the work that the General Assembly does all year round, all those bills have already been submitted by February 10th. If you have a bill that you want to put in and you want the extension on it, I could be wrong on this, but I think it's up to Speaker Fox. But most bills are already submitted by February 10th.
One more question?
Sure.
Just because I'm hoping that it would be helpful with everyone here. Did you get to meet with the policy writers, folks down in the basement? So the reason I asked that, and I'm hoping you might be able to speak to it, is because if there are any Tea Partiers that, based on our legislative agenda that we're going to be putting out together, want to see particular bills written. Indeed, we have the opportunity, through a rep, who would agree to sponsor it, to bring in test language, draft language, if you will, work with the policymaker to get it to the level of expectation for the General Assembly and have you put it through.
Well,
Can you talk about how you can do that?
right, yes. If you are interested in a bill being submitted before the General Assembly, you would come to me. You would put it in writing, or you would come to me, and then obviously I would have to read it and which I'm sure there wouldn't be a problem with it if it's coming from a Tea Party member, which I think is great. And then it would go down into the basement. Okay, I forgot the guy's name, and hope he doesn't see this. Because I met so many people today. I forgot his name. He's in the basement. He actually puts all the bills into writing, and then they're back up into the office. And then we can, hopefully get them on the floor sooner or later. Any more questions? Wow, look at this.
You mentioned that you were able to pull up on the computer all of the bills and this kind of thing. I realize it's very early in your career here.
Do you think?
Is there a possibility that we can pull things up on our computer to see where you guys vote, how you vote? And is there stuff in the works for that? That would be a good bill to start on.
It's going to be very easy, according to Speaker Fox today. Whatever way the bills are voted on, within 30 seconds to 2 minutes, they will be on the website for everyone to see. The equipment is already at the State House, already almost in place and all ready to go. And it's going to be very, very simple.
What website?
The state website, they're revamping it. And he said between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, all the votes and who voted for what and how they voted will be on the website. One more question. Go ahead.
I understand there was like over 2,000 bills that are on the docket, were on the docket this year, and had to be passed or looked at, or they had 2,000 still yet to be looked at. Why do we need to have so many bills? Isn't that just basically how to control people? Now, I realize you're new with this, but it's something food for thought. Why do we have to have bills coming out constantly like this? I mean, what's the end result of the bill, other than to control people or implement something where it restricts us? I'm a little concerned about the number of bills that these people constantly work on every year and pass.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't know how many bills were on the floor last year. I don't know if there's 2,000, and some are carried over from what I understand. I can't answer that.
I can answer that question.
Oh, yeah, someone can.
I was a former state rep in another life, so first independent elected in Rhode Island in 1984, and way before my time. And I served 10 years in this place that she's going to. It's a snake pit. To answer your question, all the bills were put in last year are dead.
That's what I thought.
They die. They only carry over during a non-election year. The reason why there's so many bills, as a legislator, she's going to get a million requests from constituents. They're going to say, hey, can you put a bill in for this? Can you put a bill in for that? And so she has to get these bills filed to keep her constituency in North Kingstown and Tea Party people, they're gonna want bills for cows and dogs and moose, and that's why they all go in there. So all these bills kind of get in there, and the other thing, you have until the 10th to file, but your committee chairperson of a committee can release a bill.
They can,
Right.
but it has to go through
Yeah,
Speaker.
it's
Has to go through Speaker Fox, so it's not
It's really,
100%. So that's why I'm focusing on the February 10th deadline, because that's my best bet for bills to be passed.
It's really difficult in terms of this, and all the people writing the bills are hired by Gordon. They're all Democrats. So the Republicans don't have anybody down there writing anything. So they write them the way you want, and she is right. Even a spelling error on a bill that goes from the House to the Senate, if they spell the word wrong, ADN or AND, that bill has to come back.
Right.
And it's very common, for these things to happen. So, your job is to, this year, is to at least try to, see what's going on. You have all of next year. She'll probably get one bill.
I've got 3 ready to go.
No, but they'll probably pass one bill for her. Something innocuous, because every rep gets something. So there'll be some little bill, and they'll say, okay, Doreen, we gave you this bill on, you got a stop sign put up on, Frenchtown Road, so you're happy in terms of where it is. Nothing happens without Gordon. He runs the show. And Gordon used to be my page. And I'm gonna like it. So blame me. Blame me. I found him working in an ice cream store. And he was my page, so he's weird, but he's a fair guy. He's pretty fair. But that's the reason why all these bills are in there. It's a paperwork nightmare in terms of where it's about. And I remember from February 10th, nothing goes on until the wee hours of the morning, sometime in May or June, and then all this stuff gets kind of vacuumed through. What I would suggest to you folks is, this would drive these guys crazy. Go to Radio Shack and buy one of these little $100 little flip cameras that they have now, little high definition cameras, and go into those committee rooms and start videoing them.
Absolutely.
And then start posting that stuff, okay? And that'll drive, you have the legal right to do that. If they try to put you out, so you can't put me out, I'm a citizen, so if we start filming these guys and filming what goes on over there, because the committees don't get that. So that might be a bill you might want to put in, that all committee hearings are filmed. And they're put up on a website or they're put up there. But stop filming these people, you'll drive them insane.
Just one more question from David, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Colleen.
I heard through the grapevine that even with all of Rhode Island's massive economic problems, that Fox's main agenda was to pass gay marriage. Is that true?
Not that I know of. I think that's more of Chafee's, on Mrs. Governor Chafee's agenda, because he's willing to pass anything he thinks he can. I can tell you right now that nobody on that House floor of the Republican Party is going to be touching his budget and putting it in front of anybody. And I can also say that for a lot of the Democrats that I talk to. So any General Assembly candidate that is going to touch Governor Chafee's bill, warning, political suicide, because I'm not touching it and I'm not raising taxes. So I think that's it.